You know, as you're building God's kingdom, the enemy is going to try to discourage you. And we talked about last time how he tries to become a part of the work, but he's really not a part of it. He's tearing it down. The second attempt of Sanballat to destroy the work of the building of the temple was to hire professional counselors. And those professional counselors wrote letters back to the king and made false accusations against God's people. And the king stopped the work. You know what I call the professional counselors today that have kept many Christians from doing what God's called them to do is our law structure called attorneys. Man, the fear that they place, the people that they use a lot of times in the court system to falsely testify, to come up with false details, to discourage and keep God's people from doing what God wants. So many ministries, so many people have stopped the work because of a law, because of a fear that if we do this, we will be sued. Or another fear, this is what an attorney told me. You know what? The enemy wants to use the professional businessmen, the professional world today, to defeat and discourage many Christians. When God calls us to a task to rebuild the walls, there's going to be resistance. It's going to come through things in the government. It's going to come through laws. There's going to be all kinds of things. But we must remember, it is the work of the enemy. And what I love is Ezra and Nehemiah, they stopped for a while, and then a prophet said, "Why have you stopped doing what God has called you to do?" And they went back and legally showed the documentation that the king of Persia had given them to rebuild the walls. And God moved on the heart of that king and said, build. And anybody that resists you, we will help you defeat. So don't get discouraged. It's the enemy's tactic. Falsely accuse people, use legal methods, worldly methods to stop God's work. But God is bigger than those things. So let's press on.